So up until pretty recently, the game looked like this, and now it looks like this. Now there are buildings and turrets, and we're starting the entire factory portion of the game. This is what about half the game will consist of, building turrets, walls, the factory, and mostly making sure your buildings are creating the things that will feed into the turrets, and maybe the buildings that are enhancing the turrets, giving them more damage, more speed, that kind of thing. The first turrets are the laser turrets. So these are the low-cost, inaccurate, and not ammo-efficient turrets. Basically the first thing you're going to make, and you're going to probably quickly move to something else. And you'll notice that there are the lower ground level kind of turrets here, and the turrets which are on towers. And the tower turrets are 360 degrees, and the ground turrets are more directional and only shoot right where they're facing. Naturally, the tower will be a little bit more expensive to build compared to the ground version. Up next are the cannon turrets, which again, there's the ground version and the tower version, which is pretty much the same thing going on as the laser turrets. The tower cannon turret being an upgrade to the ground version. There is also an electric turret, which functions by hitting one enemy, and there's a possibility of arcing electricity, hitting other enemies, stunning them. So this one's more of a gamble. You don't really know for sure if you're going to get all the damage out of it, but you know, that's why this one is interesting. You are taking a gamble, and maybe you get a lot of damage, and maybe you don't. And sort of to the opposite end, there is the thumper turret, which is just dealing consistent low-level damage to every enemy that's near it. So this one's kind of reliable, but you're not going to get a whole lot of damage out of it. You're not going to be killing a lot of enemies, but you know, it could still be worthwhile. There's also a slow field, and I'm going to call this a turret, even though it's probably not best called a turret. It doesn't shoot anything, but everything around it is slowed, which gives the players an opportunity to deal more damage, either themselves or using the other turrets. Lastly, there's the railgun turret, which is going to be high damage, high range, low rate of fire, probably really expensive, and something you're really only going to be making towards the end of the game, or the end of your run, however you want to think of it. So, as you can see, the factory portion of the game is coming along. With the turrets done, it will be time to move on to making sure the buildings snap together. I think that's really important. I want the player to be able to just like point at one building and rotate the other building to snap to it, like as close as it can, which I think I have a way where I could do that figured out. And then I probably will not go into like the recipes for the factory buildings, but probably do some of the factory buildings, like to process these raw materials that you see going around. It's all raw material right now, but that there needs to be recipes going on. I might take a break from the factory stuff and jump over and model the enemies and do some artwork, you know, the concepting and the 3D models for the enemies. To be honest, getting a little bit sick of looking at these cylinders. I mean, they're fine, but you know, they gotta go. Their cylinders are not cutting it for me. All right, but yeah, that concludes it for this one. Peace.